A pleasant good afternoon to the members of Parliament, support staff, radio listeners, TV viewers, and members of the media. Welcome to the Central Committee meeting number 15 of today, Wednesday, February 2nd, 2022. We've established a quorum of 9 members. Let's stand for a moment of silence. I have received notice of absence from MP DeWeaver and no other, no? Is there, and no, I don't see any other absence. So is there any other member of Parliament that wish to have the floor for notifications? Yes, I see MP Manuel, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair Lady, and good afternoon to you, all my colleagues. Good afternoon to everyone. Madam Chair, it's a public meeting. It's almost the same thing. It doesn't matter. Yes, good afternoon again to everyone. Madam Chair, and I wanted to sit down and have a chat with MP Westcott on this, but the time, and I didn't get time to call her. I want to know, Madam Chair, if you took notice of the timeshare law and what is being said about it, with it being translated in English, with the judge weighing in on it, and you know yeah. And the reason why I'm bringing this to your attention, Madam Chair, because here we have the legislative body where this law was passed unanimously in 2017. It is being asked by the minister for it to be translated in English. And I'm saying to myself, in Dutch, and English.
It's already in
English. Okay, but what I'm saying is this, though. The Constitution of St. Martin says our languages is Dutch and English. So I'm saying to myself, why can't it be sufficient in English? Second to that, you have the judge weighing in on it. And I'm saying, doesn't that trample on the so-called trias politicas, where you have the judiciary, where you have the executive branch and the legislative branch? The legislative branch made a decision, passed it unanimously, but I wanted to sit down with MP Westcott on this, and I didn't get the time to do it. But I'm taking notice where I'm realizing, Madam Chair, more and more we are seeing the judicial branch creeping and crawling and making decisions more and more for the legislative branch. Madam Chair Lady, I'm seeing it, I'm noticed that it's happening. I just want to know if it's have your attention. Thank you very much.
Thank you, MP Manuel. Is there any member of Parliament? Yes, MP George Pandeflet, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and good afternoon to the Chair, my colleagues in Parliament, the persons who are viewing and who are listening to this meeting. Madam Chair, I just want to take this opportunity to do so because I didn't get a chance to do it, I think it was day before yesterday, to also on behalf of the National Alliance and of course my family to extend our deepest sympathy and condolences to our colleague MP Bryson on the passing of his uncle, Mr. Joel Bryson. You know, I knew him for quite some time because working at immigration, he was also one that also came by and so on, and always had instructions for us with regards to how things should be done. He even gave me a joke one time when he said he worked in Aruba at a Lago. I believe it was the chief security at Lago in Aruba, and he said my dad, with whom he worked for quite some time, there were some sailors who were coming to shore without their pass, and he told them that they could not pass, but they decided to make that attempt, and 4 of them were found sleeping the next morning because they were knocked out cold. Joel Bryson was always talking about politics and so on, and always had advice for me as to make sure whenever I get involved in these matters, to make sure that I study and make sure I come with the facts. So definitely he's one who has contributed much to a lot, even in my life, with regards to immigration and also when it comes to politics too. Again, on behalf of National Alliance and on behalf of my family, our deepest sympathy to you and also the Bryson family, of course, your father and the other brothers. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, MP Pandeflet. Next, we have for notifications, MP Rolando Bryson. You have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good afternoon to you, to the Secretary General, our colleagues here. Madam Chair, my notification also had to do with follow-ups from from the budget to dovetail on one of them I was going to bring up. Indeed, there was going to be some information sent to Parliament updating us in writing regarding the timeshare. There was also, the Minister of Finance was also going to send in writing an update on the SSRP, the payouts, how many have been requested, how many, I don't know, it was basically an updated chart that the Minister had said during the debate that would be sent. And there was one more, I don't recall, but there's maybe like 4 of them. I think I'll just send it as a reminder by email, but indeed that the government did promise some items. I too look forward to the elucidation regarding the timeshare ordinance. It's, we've talked about it many times in the budget. It's the first time I'm hearing about, well, I guess it was during the answers. I missed that part about the judge giving an advice, but there was also supposed to be an update about a terms of reference that went out. I recall that in the answers. I think we should get this information in writing from the relevant ministers. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, MP Bryson. Next, for notifications, we have MP Sikhat Bijlani. You have the floor. MP,
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Good.
Good afternoon to everyone. I would like to join MP George in my sincere condolences to my colleague MP Bryson on losing his uncle. Much strength to you and your family. And on a separate note, over the weekend, there was a big accident on Bush Road where my son and his good colleague friend Hitesh were involved. Currently, my son has got home, but with a lot of bruises and pains and everything and in the trauma. But thank God, everyone is alive. And as I'm speaking, Hitesh is undergoing surgery in Curacao. I would just like to tell everyone here to pray that the surgery goes well and he bounces back in St. Martin. And as he is known with, he's a fighter. And I believe in that he will fight it out. And one more thing I would like to tell people of St. Martin is, please be careful on the street when you're driving. There is no rush anywhere. You can control your speed limits and don't get into an accident. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, MP Bijlani. Is there any other member of Parliament that wishes to have the floor for notifications? I see no need. MP Emmanuel and MP Bryson's kind of combined, but it does have our attention. And as for the documents that you were referring to, we will have to double check it. We haven't seen anything, but we will have to follow up. And as for me, my notification, I would like to wish the family, friends of Miss Lucia Hyman condolences. Sachelle, Mary, Gabby, Myra, Carlos, and Lee, condolences for the passing of your mom last night, and condolences to the Hyman, Granger, Westcott, and Lawrence family on behalf of the UP faction. With that then, members of Parliament, I would like to then continue with the agenda point, which is the approval, composition, delegation, and provisions members of Parliament to participate in committees, board of directors, and meetings and general assemblies of Par Latino. I'm about to list 10 documents, and they're all under parliamentary year 2021-2022. And these documents can be found from February 9th to 12th, 2022, IS number 350, dated December 3, 2021, under IS 370, dated December 13, 2021, under IS 374, dated December 14, 2021, under IS 421, dated January 3, 2022, under IS 444, dated January 12, 2022, IS 456, dated January 18, 2022, IS 457, dated January 18, 2022, IS 486, dated January 24, 2022, IS 490, dated January 24, 2022, and finally IS 497, dated January 27, 2022. We go over to the agenda point. On December 13, 14, and 2021, January 3rd, 12, and 18th of 2022, Parliament received convocations for members of Parliament to participate in the meetings of committees, Board of Directors meetings, Junta Directiva, and the 36th Annual General Assembly of Parlatino, which is the Asamblea General. These meetings will take place on February 9th, 10th, 12th, and February 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th of 2022 in Panama City, Panama. The committees that will be meeting on February 9th and 10th are Committee of Human Rights, Justice, and Prison Policies, Committee of Political, Municipal Affairs and for Integration, Committee of Labor, Social, and Legal Affairs. The Board of Directors meeting, Junta Directiva, will take place on February 10, 2022, in which the President of Parliament will partake. The Board of Directors is made up of a full Board of Directors and as many vice presidencies as member congresses, of which the Parliament of St. Martin, represented by the chairperson, is also a vice president. The Board of Directors is the highest authority when the Assembly is not in session. It is customary that, as much as possible, the members that are taking part in these committee meetings be part of the delegations to attend the General Assembly, since these members will already be in Panama with a minimum of 3 members in connection with the voting during the Assembly, which is 12 voting rights per country. The General Assembly will take place on February 11th and 12th of 2022. The Assembly is the highest representative and deliberative body of Parlatino and is made up of accredited national delegation. The proposal is therefore for Parliament to approve this work visit for these members of Parliament, the Secretary General of Parliament, and a member of the Secretariat of Parliament to attend the General Assembly on behalf of Parliament. The proposal is furthermore to approve the travel arrangements for this delegation. It is important to note that it is customary that every new parliamentary year we establish the composition of the Parlatino committees, as we do with the permanent and ad hoc committees of Parliament. In the Central Committee Meeting number 1 in September 2021, there was no clear decision as to how the committees should be composed. For this reason, the advice was not handled, and Parlatino therefore continued with the composition of the committees as previously established. According to the rotating scheme, then as agreed upon, the members who will be attending to this committee and Board of Directors are President of Parliament Grisha Heilige Martin, MP Akim Arundel, MP Sichar Bidlani, MP Rolando Bryson, MP Christophe Emmanuel, and MP Solange Duncan. I would like to now turn over the floor to any member of Parliament that would like to say something. I see that MP Sichar Bidlani would like to have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. For personal reasons and medical reasons, I would not be able to join the trip to Panama. So please, could you take off my name from that list? Thank you.
Thank you, MP Bijlani. That would mean that the next person in line would be then MP George Ponteflet. MP Ponteflet, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'll have to join my colleague in saying that I will not be going on this trip at this time, so therefore my name can be taken off the list of travelers. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, MP Ponteflet. And then the next person that will follow you then will be MP Angelique Rameau. Is there any other member of Parliament that wish to have the floor? MP Bryson?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good afternoon once again. First, related to the proposal as being handled, took note of the fact that we're going based on previous committees. However, the fact is we do have a new member of Parliament that has joined us most recently, has not had the opportunity to be a part of those previous committees. I would want to propose, especially that some have been skipped, that we at least inquire if the faction of Brownbill would want to be a part of the delegation. I think that it's not his fault that he was not here during the previous time to be on the list, and I think we should at least ask that. That would be my one proposal on this. I just also want to kind of shed some light on what we're discussing here. As somebody who attended the last General Assembly, I think the General Assembly is in general, the most valuable opportunity in terms of the Parliament of St. Martin and the delegation to bring about realistic, really achievable issues to the forefront of the General Assembly, but also from a networking perspective, it can bring a lot of opportunities for St. Martin. Madam Chair, last time I believe the delegation that went to the General Assembly was myself, MP Emmanuel, MP Duran, and MP Brownbill. They will recall that we had a meeting, for example, with the President of the Pan-African Parliament, who was present. Just to keep in mind, this is in June 2019. Shortly after that, there was a change in government, and we had a pandemic, so we didn't have opportunities since that time to follow up on these tangible things. We had the Pan-African Parliament wanted the opportunity to discuss with our Parliament about becoming an associate member, which in and of itself could bring about some interesting opportunities and dialogue for us. We also had a discussion with the President of Ecuador, who made during the General Assembly in his keynote address a plea, Bolivia, correction, yes, thank you, Emmanuel, Bolivia, who made a plea to the membership where they have been making efforts to try to share the resources within Latin America and the Caribbean, but revealed to us that the multinationals are the first to try to buy their gas and buy their natural resources, and they were willing, and a plea was made to the parliaments to discuss with the governments us purchasing at, I think Emmanuel could probably explain, it was basically nothing. It would have been almost free gas is what we were looking at. So I think maybe MP Emmanuel can elaborate on that. Just to say that this is not just to me about the committee meetings that are happening. The General Assembly is the most high-profile, high-caliber event that I think the Parliament can be a part of, and I'm happy to hear that we will be sending a delegation. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, MP Bryson. Your first proposal is duly noted, but also remember that, take note that also the other member of Parliament that is also not able to attend is MP Ludmila De Wever. So it's both MP Ludmila De Wever and MP Brownbill. That was not part of the former convocations, and we didn't have those meetings. And what happens now? The membership standard just roll over, and that's what they have already listed. We cannot just bring in members of Parliament that never went through the proper procedure to be posted in the committees. Is there any other member of Parliament that wish to have the floor? Yes? MP? MP Pantoflet, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and definitely I agree with the statements of my colleague, MP Rolando Bryson. I have been to several Palatino meetings and also General Assemblies. And one of the things I've always said we should always keep in mind is the issue of the formation of alliances. I don't know if you can recall when I believe a letter was written by, I can't remember the name of the individual, concerning the issue of our complaints as to our treatment within the kingdom. Exactly, yes. And what happened was it condemned the behavior of the kingdom government towards the islands down the side. So I think it's important we keep these alliances. Secondly, Madam Chair, Latin America is a population of some 500 million people. That means mass is power. So once we could remain in alliance with these countries, it means that we have support in order to, when there are certain points have to be made on an international level, we can get the support in order to have a strong backing. So I see that definitely, Madam Chair, as an opportunity. It's like, and let me use this word, return on investment, whereas my former colleague mentioned the discussion with the President of Bolivia and also the Pan-African Union. So those things are important, and we should not allow the opportunity to pass by without maintaining those alliances. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, MP Pantoflet. Any other member of Parliament wish to have the floor?
Just wanted clarity on your response to my proposal, Madam Chair. You're saying that if the Parlatino will not welcome
Because there is no convocations with their names on it. The names just roll over. Remember, we would have had to have the meeting to have them in and then send them a convocations. There's no convocations with MP De Wever's name, and there's no convocation with MP Brownbill's name. Is that clear? Yes? Okay. Well, with that, members of Parliament, I would like to thank you, and if there's no more comments, this proposal is then approved. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of this meeting, and I thank you for your participation and therefore close this meeting. Meeting closed.